Hello, friends. Donna Reinders here. As you can see, I'm in a different kind of place today. Hello, hello, hello. Donna Reinders here. And today I want to talk a little bit about tools that can help you when you have an intention, like on purpose. You want to transform your emotions and go on a journey of accountability, of strength. And I'll be honest with you, I used to write all the time, like every day for years and years and years. And just a few years ago, I literally had a container this big and that I soaked in water, and I basically destroyed it because it was so much of my past, so much of my venting, so much of my emotional needs. I thought, I need to say goodbye to who I used to be and say hello to who I have become and who I'm becoming. And that was really important for me. But those composition books, those journals, they were invaluable for my journey. They were invaluable for my daily walk with myself, my daily walk with God, my daily walk with my emotions. They helped me so much. So, although I know we have digital options like phones and tablets, and I know they're convenient, but there's something so powerful about putting pen to paper. And now my handwriting is not near as good as it used to be. And so I have to really write slow now. And I'll sometimes, instead of writing, I draw. So I have permanent markers I use. I have colorful markers I use. I started painting a few years ago, and so sometimes I will paint even instead of just write on paper, just to express what's happening within me. And it helps bring balance to my body, it helps bring balance to my mind. It helps me when I am thinking about something with a lot of rich focus. It helps release emotions that are inside that are wanting to trouble me. I'm like, nope, you're not troubling me. So, learning how to release those things that trouble you instead of avoiding them, instead of pretending like they don't exist, releasing them is so valuable and so important. And you'll see over time how helpful they are. Even research even talks about how handwriting activates different parts of the brain. You know, um, it's just a different part. That's why it's so important for kids in school. When I was a kid, it was not an option not to learn cursive. Now they've taken away cursive for children, and to me, that is craziness because there's neural connections coming together in the brain. Helps improve memory retention more than just printing, but using your hand to write when you're able to is excellent for the brain, excellent for your intention. Write the vision down, right? Write to implement. And so a journal serves multiple purposes in our journey, right? You can track your daily thoughts, you can track your feelings, you can map out emotional patterns. When you start really paying attention to how your emotions are serving you or how they are not serving you, and you start daily writing down, hey, listen, this took a turn at this time, or I was in conversation with such and which, and all of a sudden my emotions went la 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 la. And you're like, whoa, you can really start seeing what triggers you and pay attention to what triggers you so that if you know that's happening, you can stop the triggering and you can start identifying and observing how you respond versus just react. You can also draw really personal insight. And I know I've gotten a lot of revelation through writing, a lot of revelation about myself, a lot of revelation about humanity, revelation about God, revelation from God. And when you are writing, when you are drawing, when you are creating, when you are expressing, you create these visual representations of your progress, and you can look back a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you go, whoa, I am progressing. Listen, one little bit of progress is better than none. And I know I'm in something right now where I fell behind for a couple of weeks because I was, Craig and I were both doing the same thing. And he was keeping it up. He was talking to me about it, telling me about it. And in my brain, I totally forgot about the accountability part of what we were supposed to fill out because there has been so many changes taking place in our lives right now and so many things happening with our family. And so I got caught up this morning and went, oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Because I know they read them and they look at those, they're like, well, Donna's fallen off the wagon, you know. But I haven't. I was just keeping track of different ways. So it's very helpful to write things down. Writing helps you process your emotions much more effectively than just not mentioning them at all to yourself. You know, not. I don't mean keeping track like it's a legalistic thing. That's not what I mean. It's for you, you know, to help you process where you are so you can actually transform yourself and not be content with whatever outburst you're having, whatever sadness, whatever gloominess, whatever depression. You know, you might affix in your mind a reason why you have these different feelings. And you may not realize they go deeper than what you think. So creating a tangible record of your growth that you can look back on is excellent. And eventually we start mapping out our emotions in our program. It's a crucial exercise. And we do it on paper or we do it drawing. We do it in a creative way so your mind is free to express and you're not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but you're literally releasing yourself and getting a little bit more spontaneous with what's happening. Because creativity actually helps your brain remember things versus, like, for instance, I don't test real well, and I don't like keep continuing to say that, but I haven't tested well in the past. But when I'm flowing, when my energy's flowing, when I'm sharing, when I'm talking through things, I understand things. I'm just not always perfect at the language needed for someone, say, to test you to make sure you know your stuff. So I've had to really face a lot of imperfection in myself. And as I released imperfection and released the legalism that had me tied to a system that made me have to do, I found I remembered more inside than I did before. And I'm very, very thankful for that. Very, very, very thankful. There's such this mind-body connection that happens when we physically write or draw out our emotions. And it makes your experience more meaningful, more impactful. And I'll tell you something. I have noticed that, well, 2 things. One is when I know someone's going through something really deep and my heart is drawn to it. When I go in my garage and I paint and I'm letting my heart for them flow, I get a lot of prophetic insight. I get messages from my inside where I speak life and I start reinforcing life in that person. And there have been times when they have passed away. I've had several paintings where people have passed away. And but the release of life in them was imperative. But that was part of my part to play. But also what was happening in me is I was releasing my emotions in a healthy way. Releasing my emotions of sadness, of pain, of realizing their time on the planet might be ending, even while I was inserting life into them spiritually or mentally. So it's very meaningful. It's very impactful. And I just want to encourage you and tell you, you are exactly where you need to be right now. You know, your presence here, your presence on the planet is not a coincidence. It is a response to your soul's calling for transformation and growth. If you feel any kind of tweaking, leaning in with me, then private message me, you know, because it's helpful when you can respond to the call inside of you, to the journey, to not for a destination, but not racing to get someplace, not racing. Oh, I got to get to into this because then this, and I got no. No, it's a journey. It's moments of challenge. It's moments of change. It's moments of triumph. It's moments of sadness. It's moments of realizing, oh my God, I've been avoiding this, and it's moments of taking deep breaths, being present, and reminding yourself to trust the process, to trust the process of you, of your life. So if you are willing to let go of the past, even the parts you think define you, listen, I've had to let go a lot of what I thought defined me. And it was very confrontational to my heart. Very confrontational. Because we don't realize it till you get still enough to see it. And if you're willing to embrace a new future, even if it looks different than you thought it would, like maybe you dreamed of XYZ and now you're stuck in ABC. But if you can embrace a new future, even though it's different than what you thought your life would look like, I believe that energy alone can bring shift so that you can move forward even if you feel like you can't. Because your attitude changes, your response changes, your joy rises. And in the midst of that, those two things will bring you to a place where you're willing to make new decisions. Even if you're uncomfortable, you can make new decisions with peace. And I'm like a guide on the journey of transformation. And I'm just here to support you every step of the way. I've witnessed a lot of people discover their inner strength and reshape their emotional landscape. I believe you can do this. Never doubt your inherent value. Never doubt that you are absolutely worth every moment and every ounce of energy you invest in the process of transforming yourself, of finding the joy that you know there is inside of you that sometimes is trapped underneath a lot of junk. And so I just want you to know that you are loved, that your commitment to personal growth is not just admirable, but it's transformative. You have an opportunity to become all that you want to become. Do all you want to do. Be all you want to be. Be all that you can be. Anyway. And just remember also that sustainable change only happens through consistent small steps, not big steps. I've taken some big steps lately, and they were hard changes. They started as consistent small changes, but then all of a sudden one day there was a hard change. And it was very difficult. So I encourage you to continue to take the small steps that are consistent so you can be encouraged at every day's effort, no matter how minimal your effort may seem, that you will be proud of yourself. And I don't mean in an egotistical way, but proud of yourself. Because over time, you're creating profound transformation. Over time. You can think of it as building a masterpiece, except that you're the masterpiece. One brushstroke. I'm a painter, so I like those words. And so I just bless you. Your life is important. And I believe in your strength. I believe in your potential to find who you really are, to love yourself completely, unconditionally, completely and unconditionally. That is my commitment to myself, to love myself completely, unconditionally, to face where I don't and change it. And that's what's been happening in me for some years now. And I'm thankful to be able to share it. I've been sharing it behind the scenes for a long, long time, but I don't really come out public that often. But I really feel like this is the way God's led me, So that's what I'm going to be doing on a daily basis here. And I bless you. And if you want to private message me, I've gotten some private messages from some ladies, which is who my community is involved in. And I'm happy to encourage you and strengthen you. So anyway, I bless you. I know that this might have been loud, and my apologies for that. I'm in a very different place right now. And I'm just trying to to keep my commitments, even though I might be doing things remote sometimes, right? So I bless you. Today was a little shorter than normal, but I like it. It's good. Eventually, we'll do some breath work together. We'll do some meditation together. You know what? Life is good, and I bless you, and I pray that you know it's good. And until soon, this is Donna. Bye.